Hey everybody, it's Brian Briscoe. This is another one of your multifamily brief episodes of the Diary of an Apartment Investor podcast. Recently, I had a call with a longtime listener. He reached out and mentioned a couple of things to me. So we ended up hopping on a call. And incidentally, I will typically hop on calls with people who do reach out to me. Don't be afraid to reach out. But this particular person reached out to me, and during our call, he mentioned something. Hey, I love listening to your podcast. I love listening to all of the content. But one thing that I think the podcast is lacking is that you never tell us enough about you. I know I hear everyone else's stories, but I never hear your story. What's going to be coming out really, really soon, we're actually recording it later today, is this particular person. His name's Tyler. He's going to be interviewing me, and we're going to be releasing that episode on the Diary of an Apartment Investor podcast so that everybody can learn a little bit more about me. Anyway, that's coming out soon. Should come out in a couple of weeks. We're usually about 2 to 3 weeks between when we record and when we release episodes. You should expect to see that one coming up really, really soon. But the point he brought up, I'm going to actually use today's episode to let everybody know what I am doing. Because I think a lot of times I talk about the markets in general. I talk about different things related to apartment investing. And obviously I interview people on the Ask the Expert episodes and the First Deal episodes. But I think I'm going to take his words to heart, where I don't talk enough about what I'm doing. So that's what I'm going to do today. Tell you guys exactly what I'm doing. Now, a couple of weeks, maybe a month or two ago, I did announce that I'm leaving Four Oaks Capital. So just want to talk about what's happening since then. I'm going through the process of starting two separate funds. Had calls with bankers and managers and attorneys in the last couple of days, and we're really, really close to launching the funds. It's going to be through my new company, Streamline Capital Group. And one of the benefits of podcasting, and this is I'm going to relate this to funds in a second, but one of the benefits to podcasting is I have talked with hundreds of apartment investors. And with many of those apartment investors, I have continued to build relationships after the podcast episode. Some of the people who come on the show are people that I have a little bit of a relationship with prior to, but I've been able to build relationships with a lot of people who have a lot of deals in various markets. So how am I going to relate that to funds? Well, I am starting a fund that allows me to bring investment opportunities to people in my network, and I can leverage the relationships I have with, hundreds of GPs across the nation to find the best possible investment opportunities. So it allows me to give access to people in my network to some of the deals they may not normally have access to, with some of the operators who are really, really good at what they do and who have properties that are, like I said, potentially not accessible to some of the people in our network. What my funds, two separate funds, I will be able to bring both accredited and non-accredited investors into 506B and 506C deals. Now, there's a lot of legalese behind how I'm doing that, but leave that to me and my attorney, and we'll make sure that we can bring the best opportunities to the accredited and non-accredited folks. If you are interested in learning about the funds, if you're interested in investing in the funds, head to our website. It's www.streamlinecapitalgroup.com/invest. Fill out that form. You put your name, put your email address in there, and you're going to get emailed a Calendly link that's going to get you on my calendar. And we will talk about those funds. All right. So that's one way to get direct access to me. Go to the website, fill out the form, tell me you want to invest, and we'll talk. All right. The next big thing I'm running, and I do talk about this, a lot of times indirectly, sometimes more directly, but we're building the Tribe of Titans. I'm going to continue to build the Tribe of Titans. It's a multifamily educational community. Right now we are at around 200 official members of the tribe right now, and it is growing fast. We had 6 new joins in the last 3 days. So if that's any indication, we are growing at quite a clip right now. Just yesterday, so I'm recording this Tuesday, it's going to be released on a Wednesday, but Just yesterday, we also launched the second round of a capital raising course that I developed. The course filled fairly quickly. We had 12 open spots, and we have 12 people in that course. Very excited for that. We will be periodically, redoing that capital raising course. I plan to run that 2 to 3 times per year. Inside the tribe, we also have underwriting calls, weekly underwriting calls. And I'm also developing a legit underwriting class, how to underwrite deals, how to make sure that you're being the right amount of conservative is what I like to call it. If you're too conservative, you're never going to get any deals. If you're not conservative enough, you're going to overpay and potentially be into a bad investment. We're doing weekly underwriting calls, and next out the gates is going to be this underwriting class. Another thing, we also do case studies. A lot of these first deal episodes that we do, we bring the investor on and we put them in front of the Tribe of Titans members. And you have to be a member of the Tribe of Titan to be able to get to the live case studies and ask your questions as well. That's one of the things we're doing. I'm also hiring a community manager to make the tribe even better, to make sure we have, plenty of guest speakers and plenty of events. And these things are regularly spaced and done appropriately. So that's going to be coming out soon. I've got several people who've applied. We announced Inside the Tribe first. I think it's important to me to hire within. We got a lot of people who've been doing really, really great things inside the tribe, and I figured I would basically put that out to them first. And I've got about a dozen people who applied. We'll be announcing who that is soon, and it's going to make the tribe even better. And if you're interested in joining the Tribe of Titans, if you're not already, I've been giving 30 days free since we launched the tribe. And that 30-day free trial is going to go away soon. I think 30-day free trial is too long. Most people, figure out long before the 30 days whether they're going to stick around or not. And incidentally, we have about a 90% rate of people who stick around, which for communities like this is extremely high. In the near future, we're going to whittle that down to a 7-day free trial period. If you're interested in a free 30 days to check out the Tribe of Titans, there's a lot of stuff in there. Get in now. In the show notes, we always have a link to the Tribe of Titans, or we should always have a link, at least on the recent shows, we have a link to the Tribe of Titans. It'll get you in, and it'll get you that 30-day free trial. That said, go ahead and take advantage of that, and we'll see you in the tribe. Another thing that I've been doing lately, and I look to continue to do, is go to the conferences that make sense for me. Recently, I spoke at the GOB Network Conference in Chicago. I spoke about personal branding, and I spoke on a capital raising panel. I was also part of the Multifamily Mindset Peak Performance Conference, where I spoke on a panel there. I've been to, VSVCon in Phoenix, DML. I'm going to be at Jake and Gino and a couple other conferences coming up. Definitely look at these conferences. I think a lot of them add a lot of value, and I'll be at several of these. When you go to these conferences, look around for me and, come talk to me. And I think the last thing is, this podcast. We're going to continue to try to put out the best content possible in this podcast. We also have a YouTube channel if you haven't found it yet. I'm getting far fewer downloads on the YouTube channel than I'm getting on the podcast, but it depends on how you want to consume your information. My new podcast editor is doing a bang-up job on getting the YouTube videos released within a very short time of when the podcast audio rolls out. If you prefer to watch, if you want to see my happy smiling face along with the experienced and aspiring investors, go to our YouTube channel. Once again, the link's going to be in the show notes. Check it out. We're also going to be ramping up our social media campaign, especially on Instagram. We've been posting a lot on LinkedIn, but I think Instagram is probably the next place that we're going to be focusing on. If you haven't followed our Instagram channel yet, Diary of an Apartment Investor Podcast, definitely do that. And incidentally, we did move the podcast website. I probably should have announced that. We used to have a standalone website. DiaryofAnApartmentInvestor.com was a standalone website. And we have integrated the podcast website into our Tribe of Titans website. If you go to DiaryofAnApartmentInvestor.com, it'll automatically redirect you. But if you want to go to the podcast website, it's thetribeoftitans.info/podcast-feed. All right, super, super simple. And once again, there's going to be a link to that in the show notes. So that's what's going on with me. That's, I guess, the latest and greatest as far as that goes. And I do want to thank Tyler, for bringing a couple things out to me and saying, hey, we would like to know more about you. And I'm excited to record an episode with him later today. By the time you're listening to this, the episode will be fully recorded and getting ready to release in a couple of weeks. Once again, lots of stuff, and there's a lot of things that you as a listener could be potentially involved with. Like I said, investment opportunities for both accredited and non-accredited investors. Fun fact, if I am starting a fund that could eventually become an accredited entity. If you're a non-accredited investor and you want to have access to accredited only deals, to the 506c deals, go to the website, fill out the form, let's talk about it. I'll tell you exactly how you can do that and how I've got it planned so that I can give my non-accredited friends access to accredited deals. Okay, 100% legal, and it's going to be awesome. Interested in investing, whether you're accredited or not, go to the Streamline Capital Group website, fill out the form, we'll be in contact. Interested in learning how to do this yourself, which I think is more applicable to most people in this group, go to the tribeoftitans.info website or go to the link just to straight up sign up for the Tribe of Titans. And then look for me at conferences, courses, and keep listening to the Diary of an Apartment Investor podcast. Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you later.
Hey, if you like that episode, make sure you hit that subscribe button. But more importantly, if you haven't joined our multifamily educational community, the Tribe of Titans yet, you are missing out. So get yourself 30 days free by clicking the link below in the description or go to thetribeoftitans.info and we'll see you there.